Welcome to Real Life and Real Estate. I'm Nickie. I'm a local real estate agent serving the Tacoma Puyallup area and beyond. And today I'm talking to buyers, not just first-time home buyers, but if you have ever bought a house, I want you to know that the rules have changed. And especially if you were thinking you were going to buy a house again, as most people do. If you were thinking, oh my gosh, well, it went this way last time, several things have changed. And I want you to be educated about what those changes are so that you know that you have options. So this is going to be sort of some a good overview. And if you would like to chat more about what this buyer's agency agreement means, I would really like the chance to talk with you one-on-one and hear your concerns and be able to discuss how these new rules affect your situation. Let's first off start with the buyer brokerage services agreement now has to be signed before we show you a single house. I know. Yes, before we even open one door, before we go on one tour, we're going to have a 20, 30, maybe 45-minute conversation about what exactly do you want? What is the outcome that you desire? How do I get paid? Full transparency. How much do you want me to work? How far do you want to go? What does your home journey look like? So that's a good thing because it starts with a relationship. Instead of getting to know you and possibly opening doors for strangers, I get the chance to get to know you. Instead of opening doors, getting to know you along the way of showing 3 or 4 homes, now I get to know you right away before we ever start. I think that's a good thing. In this agency agreement, here's some things that you're going to look at. First of all, what is agency? Agency is hiring someone to work on your behalf. And there are many duties of a real estate agent, and some of them are obvious, like confidentiality. We guard your personal information, and we're not supposed to talk about things that you reveal to us, obviously finances, obviously motivations. If there was a buyer who's super motivated because there is a work thing or a family issue, I don't reveal that to not just the counterpart on the selling side, but I don't reveal that to anybody. You've trusted me with your personal information, and that doesn't get shared anywhere. So there's more to it. But what is agency? You're hiring me to negotiate and look out for your best interests. So the buyer broker, that is the term that the form uses. The buyer brokerage firm would mean the company that I work for. Currently, I am at Theory, and I've been at Theory for 3 years. I don't plan on changing, but you never know. Things do change in the real estate world. So you're making an agreement with the buyer brokerage firm, not just with me personally, and you're hiring the firm to represent you. So you're hiring Theory right now to represent you, and I am an agent of that firm. Now, here's the next thing you need to know. Agency relationship. Are you hiring me or are you hiring anybody? Are you hiring anybody at Theory? Are you hiring me and someone else? Which could be something that we discuss, especially if you're looking in locations that might be far apart, but you are looking for the same thing. Let's say you're looking for a home in Ocean Shores and Clay Ellum at the same time. Now, there are some agents that cover both areas, but sometimes they don't. And so you would want to have a non-exclusive buyer brokerage services agreement. So on this form, you would choose non-exclusive. You're going to be talking to several agents because they're working several areas, or that's what is the right choice for you in that situation. For most of the time, when people come to me, they want to work with Pierce County. They want to work with just Kitsap County, just King County, just Thurston County. And those are areas that I cover conveniently and easily. And so I prefer to have an exclusive agreement. That means I am the only real estate agent that you're talking to. Kind of like going steady, kind of like going out, kind of like making a promise ring, or at least a pinky promise that we're going to work together until, and that is the next kicker. How long are we going to work together? This form has a standard of 60 days, but we can make it 180 days. We can make it 360 days because we don't know how long it's going to take to find you that house. But that's something we get to agree upon up front. And then, of course, when that term runs out, it's like a nice clean breakup. Okay, we've worked together for this long. We didn't find what we were looking for. It's over. That's great. No problem. No feelings hurt. Sometimes I do want you to know that it could happen that there is a dual agency involved. Dual agency is when I represent both the seller and the buyer. What if you went to one of my listings and you fell in love with that house? You're like, this is it. And Nickie was already someone that we wanted to work with anyway. Okay, but that does put me into a sticky situation because I do know things about you and I know things about the seller. And because that is actually more work than the buyer's agency agreement covers. What if that is going to happen? How much am I going to get paid? Are you comfortable with me doing that role for you? There is also the entire factor of compensation. So how does a buyer's agent get paid? How am I going to be compensated for serving you for as long or as little or as much as you wish? Well, that is the new topic of conversation, and this is something that I would really love to discuss face-to-face. So I'm going to give you the overview of this and give you the 3 options as we have them now in August 2024. Now, the way things have been, this has changed several times. So if this is August 2025 and you're watching this, this is the news as of August 2024. So come talk to me about whatever is going on right now. As of right now, a buyer's agent can be compensated for their work through a percentage of the purchase price that the seller is offering. It is traditional and it has been true that the seller is offering a certain part of the commission that they agreed upon with their listing agent. Some of that goes to the buyer's agent. And that's one way we've been paid. And we've been paid that way traditionally for a pretty long time. There is also the possibility that I can work for you for a certain percentage or even a flat fee. And we agree that right now before we ever go see a single door. And then if the seller is offering more than that, the difference between those 2 numbers gets credited to you. What if the seller isn't offering that? That's what I need you to know. We will have to talk about that early, and that's why we're having this conversation before we've seen a single house of how will I be compensated for my time and efforts if the seller is offering 0 or partial. So when we've made an agreement for you to pay me a certain percentage or a flat fee, and the seller has agreed to pay 0 or a significantly less amount, well then that difference needs to be paid by the buyer. Now we are still working out the details of how that's going to work. For some loans, we can roll that amount into the loan, and that's really what was going to happen anyway under the traditional method. We need to see that a couple of other things happen in the meantime, like appraisals, they need to be on board with things like that, and it becomes part of the negotiation. So I'd like you to think about how much am I working for you? That's really what it is. How much do you need a professional on your side? You need a professional for the paperwork, the tracking, and especially the negotiations and the guarding your best interest. Because when it comes to buying a house, you have so many other things on your mind that I can't possibly carry. I can't possibly help you decide schools and work time and what's happening with the pets or the kids or other family members. Only you can carry that, but I can carry this, and I can carry a lot of it for you. If I cry so that you don't, then that is a great service. So that's what's happening in buyer's agency. The seller may pay the buyer's agent, and that will be fine. The seller may not pay the buyer's agent, and then we will have to negotiate how that is going to get worked out into the offer that we're writing. But somehow this is going to get worked out, and that is okay. But the sticky part is that you and we are talking about that before we see a single house. So this is a conversation we need to have probably frequently and early, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. I really want to be able to hear your questions, and I can't hear that in this format. But I hope it starts you thinking about buying a house. I'm a first-time home buyer, or this is my 3rd house, but I haven't bought a house in several years. And what is that going to look like for my finances? Let's walk through the worksheets together. Let's talk about agency together, because there's so many options. There's so many ways that this could play out. Now, the one thing I really want you to walk away with is that there is a very easy termination. This is going to be the cleanest breakup you've had in your entire life. If you decide, I don't want to do this journey anymore, I don't want to buy a house anymore, or Nickie and I aren't a good fit, simply say, this isn't a good fit, and I send you a termination. It's so simple, so easy. We can all be grown-ups about it, and that's all. I'm not going to follow up and ask any questions. It will simply be, great, no problem, here's your termination. So whether we've signed a form that says we're going to show houses and look for houses for 30 days, 60 days, 360 days, that is up to you. However long we work together is up to you most of the time. So please keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying houses. We have first-time homebuyer classes coming up in the fall, and this will be something that we cover in depth. That 5-hour first-time homebuyer class is so incredible because it really empowers first-time homebuyers to have that insider information ahead of time, before home inspection, before earnest money, before appraisal, before underwriting, before everything happens. They get a chance to ask their questions. And then when we're in the process of it, they can ask questions again, and we're coming at it from the same place with the same vocabulary and similar understanding. So do watch my calendar for first-time homebuyer classes. It's really great. And if you have any questions about buyer agency in 2024, please reach out. I would love to have that conversation with you. Thank you very much. This was Nickie Robs at Real Life in Real Estate, and this episode was edited and produced by Will Robs Art. Have a great day.